Minister, what are you proposing to do to protect tourism industry that employs 10% of all employees in the country? The 9% VAT was a godsend to many hotels. How are you going to protect them against gouging that is happening by the electricity and gas suppliers who are making it impossible for them to continue operating?
Businesses are facing cost inflation and other economic stresses, including rising costs in food and energy, increased wages in a competitive recruitment market, and the cost of insurance. The aim in Budget 2023 is to support the tourism industry to recover and grow in a sustainable way. A total of €214.762 million is being provided for tourism. We've secured €15 million in continued additional funding for overseas marketing of Ireland as a leading holiday destination. This includes €5 million to further develop a new tourism initiative aimed at stimulating international demand, the Invitation. This budget contains an additional €15 million for a range of industry initiatives, including a €3 million fund for the continuation of the investment in skills development and retention, a €2 million increase in funding for domestic marketing. We've also secured an additional funding of €3 million for the hosting of the American College football. An additional funding of €3 million was secured to allow Fáilte Ireland to continue its work in the area of sustainability. Other allocations include €36.5 million in capital funding for tourism product development for the continued delivery of enhanced visitor experiences in line with the objectives in the National Development Plan 21 to 2030. As the Deputy will be aware, the Minister for Finance announced in Tuesday's budget a package to help businesses with escalating energy costs and to plan for the future. This included a temporary business energy support scheme providing qualifying businesses with up to 40% of the increase in electricity or gas bills up to €10,000 per month, and it will be administered by the Revenue Commissioners. I am conscious that the reduced VAT rate has been a very important element of business support secured for the tourism and hospitality sector, and as you know, taxation is of course a matter for the Minister for Finance, Paschal Donohoe. The Minister for Finance has extended this to end in February 2023, and all measures and supports will be kept under review in the months ahead, given the current uncertainties in the market. The Hospitality and Tourism Forum, which is co-chaired by the Taoiseach and Minister Martin, is the appropriate arena in which to discuss with the industry and other key questions arising as the sector rebuilds. Okay.
The labour-intensive Irish tourism and hospitality sector provides employment to over 270,000 livelihoods dependent on tourism in this country, 70,000 of which are directly employed in hotels. The figure had grown to 90,000 in 2018 and 2019. They are hopeful that it would have risen to pre-pandemic levels, where they generated $12 billion in the revenue to the economy. Look at the obstacles that they overcame this year. The massive surge in demand amounting to 140% of pre-pandemic levels. The hotel industry stepped up to the mark with the war in Ukraine when they provided 15% of their capacity to the government contracts. I believe that the figure has far exceeded 15%. So what is going to happen next year when we have visitors coming from other countries? Will Ireland be full? The massive concern around the energy crisis that the hospitality since midsummer have constantly requested a central point of information from SEAI to minimise their cost and continue to upgrade the appropriate information. This has not happened. So SEAI have not done their job. They have no centre point of contact for the hotel industry.
And as I mentioned in my initial question, we're conscious of the increased costs for businesses, and also the huge, as you referenced there, how important the employment is within the tourism and hospitality sector. And that's why a specific scheme has been developed and announced by Minister Donohoe, the temporary TBES scheme, which will provide up to 40% of the increase in electricity or gas bills up to €10,000 per month. And it's in that context that we want to support businesses with the increased energy costs. And Minister Martin has secured very specific funding to continue to support the development of the tourism sector in 2023. That's why there's €214 million being provided to underpin and support the sector around marketing, promotion of the tourism sector, but also to develop the capital development schemes that Fáilte and many of the other agencies progress right across the regions and the those next year too.
The hotel industry was accused of gouging. However, the STR, who provided benchmarking and marketplace insight for a global hospitality industry monitor, said the average for a Dublin hotel during the high season was €187 per room, and much lower throughout the country, and definitely within Limerick was much lower. For a Fianna Fáil minister to publicly say that the hospitality industry was guilty of gouging hurted the whole industry. I am glad to say that the Taoiseach, Leo Varadkar, corrected the record yesterday on radio and said this was not a true reflection of around the country. And it definitely wasn't within Limerick. But for a Fianna Fáil junior minister from Limerick to say that the hotel industry was gouging, didn't do his homework, but just singled out the whole hotel industry. Now, one question you might answer, Minister. Over 15% of our hotels have now gone from the war in Ukraine, well over. What are we going to do with our visitors coming in next year and the businesses that are depending on these hotels to have visitors coming in? And 30% of our hotels are nearly full now with people, and you want to take in more. You're going to destroy our industry. You're going to destroy Ireland.
Thanks, Deputy. And Tara, no matter what.
Well, I think it's really important. We've provided a humanitarian response for those who have arrived from Ukraine, and thankfully we've been able to provide that accommodation and support for people when they arrive. And I think it's been really important. I hope you're not suggesting. I hope you're not. I don't think we should. We should not. I think you have to be very careful not to. You'd want to be very careful not to suggest that those who are arriving from Ukraine are.
Please.
I think you need to be very careful. We are providing a strong humanitarian response for those who arrived from Ukraine. We have an obligation to provide accommodation and welfare to those who have arrived, but to apportion blame to them around the is I respectfully ask you to be very respectful and considered for those who have arrived, and not to chair. And I think to start pitching those who've come from war-torn circumstances is a very unfair departure.
Minister, please,